Yo, man, pray for Damar Hamlin. Real talk. But we got some words for Mr. Skip Bayless. Let's get it.
The big homie, big homie, big homie. The big homie,
in the bed,
big homie show. Shwoo! Hey, welcome to the big homie show. The big homie, the big homie, the big homie. The big homie, hey, welcome to the big homie show. Hey, the big homie, the big homie, the big homie. The big homie. With no further ado, I welcome Debo, your host. Like, comment, share, and subscribe before you go, and tell a friend about the big homie show. Ay, the big homie, the big homie, the big homie, the big homie. Hey, welcome to the big homie show.
Drop that zaddy in the bed, boy.
Ay, the big homie, the big homie, the big homie, the big homie. Hey, welcome to the big homie show.
Yo, very unfortunate incident happened, man. It was the Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and young man by the name of Damar Hamlin, as you can see right here, made a tackle, got up, and collapsed on the floor. From what I'm hearing from a teammate, you know, when I'm doing my research, they just had to go to CPR immediately. Took the ambulance 16 minutes to get there. All teammates crying, which is rightfully so. Very upset, very concerned, and it was just looking bad. Unfortunately for Damar, his family was there. Big game. This was his second year being a safety for, in the NFL, and yeah, and unfortunately, you're gonna hear that word a lot. This happened. When they took him to the hospital, they said he was in critical. I don't know. He's probably stable now. I don't want to give no false reports or nothing. Because at this point in time, there is no breaking news or anything on his condition, on this young man. All I know is we need to pray. You need to keep him in your prayers, like seriously, and let God do the rest. Right? These things happen in the NFL, but it don't quite happen like this. This was a very scary situation where a man did the job, felt fine getting up, then 3 seconds later, just fell out. That was a scary sight. You could only assume what was just happening at that point in time in real time. It's like the world stopped in sports, and we know for a fact shout out to the players. I don't know if it was the players or anybody else that said we're not going on with this game. The higher ups or the staff or the Buffalo Bills, whoever, made the right call by not going on with this game and letting this man just go into an ambulance, get shipped off, and now it's back to regular scheduled program. Nah. Right call. I'll give the NFL at least that. Right? So now we're in wait to see how this young man progresses, and hopefully it's for the better. There's always a big thing about concussions, injuries in the NFL. The NFL is always targeted due to the fact that the NFL, in football, the football sports is contact. Very, very hard contact. Tackles. It could injure a player severely. So now that's going to be definitely under a microscope, right? It's just an unfortunate thing all around, and but the thing to understand is, first and foremost, what needs attention is definitely Damar, and I hope I'm saying his name right, Damar Hamlin. You know, keep an eye on that young man. You know, for somebody to do everything they're supposed to do, high school, college, to get to here, to have his dream come true, only for this to happen. You know, and there was a possibility that anybody in football, even a quarterback getting sacked, could wind up in a bad critical condition that'll put them out for the rest of their career. So, you know, after this is going to be a whole lot of analyzing and what to do after a player's injured, and do the NFL take care of them for the rest of their, you know, stay here on earth, like all types of things that's going to happen. So you know what's coming after this. But my prayers, even, you know, with me, you know, I send one up for the young man, you know, to the man upstairs, to keep this man here and let him continue. And what's crazy is if he comes out with a clean bill of health, I'm wondering, will he continue his NFL career? Will they let him come back next year? Because it's done. It's over for this year. We know that, obviously. But if he goes to rehab and just makes it through, you know, by the grace of the man upstairs, would he continue his NFL career? Which would be very telling, because, you know, you can't stop a man from doing what they want to do, right? Here's the deal. Here's what everybody in the whole internet universe is getting at right now. This man right here. This man right here. By the name of Skip Bayless. Skip. It's looking bad. Skip has made disparaging comments after the incident happened, and got into a whole debate. Everybody's speaking about this. Let me just read the tweet. So I'm pretty sure you know it. Like, it's not like this is the show you just done picked up on. They said, what happened with Skip? What he said. But, you know, we're gonna speak about it. Hold on. Where's that tweet? It says, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. Context is a big thing in Twitter, man. You know, we read it how we read it. We take in how we read it. Some people try to read it in the voice of the person that wrote it. Some people will take it out of context. Some people, if you know them, you say, well, no, he didn't mean that. You know, right now is a lynch mob going at Skip. The lynch mob didn't just start here. It was years ongoing with Skip Bayless. Years ongoing. Because, you know, Skip is known for disrespecting the athlete and, you know, go way past just the attributes of the athlete and their game at the time of the game. He would say disparaging things that, you know, some athletes would take very personal. Very personal, as they should. You know, he's a habitual line stepper, if you will. Don't know when to stop, or, you know, and what's crazy is he's like the Fonz. If you ever know the Fonz on Happy Days, it's very hard for him to apologize. He'll be like, he don't know how to say wrong. It's not in his vocabulary. Skip Bayless is that person. Very seldom have you hear him apologize for anything. Right? So everybody's in an uproar. There's a huge percentage of athletes, sports writers, his peers, his comrades, and just regular fans, period, that are at this man's neck, want to get him out of here, fire Skip, get rid of him. It's about that time, you know. And one thing I know that the athletes and the people say about Skip is he is not an athlete. He's probably not played one game. Who knows? I don't know Skip's uh, resume as far as being an athlete in depth. From what I hear, he played baseball or something like that. I might be wrong. Not professional baseball, but like baseball. Like he was in high school or something. Who knows? But they don't consider him an athletic person or one of their peers that he's like he could talk about the game because he had championships and World Cups or anything in that nature. No, he's just a guy with a microphone that gives his opinion. That's how they see him, right? Now, here's the thing. Skip's fan base definitely comes from the black community. The black community, he has, he gets their ear. He definitely is prevalent in that regard because he knows the Lil Waynes. He kicks it with the rappers. He wears Jordans. The fresh pair of, shit like that. Shit that the black community loves. So they take in they white boy every now and then into the fold. Like, oh, he's one of us. Come on, we got you. Right? So at this point in time, a lot of them are like, hold up. Maybe he's not the guy we thought he was. Maybe we're giving him a chance, and we shouldn't give him a chance. I know for a fact the floodgates of the dam was broken when he came crazy at Shannon Sharp. Once he did that with Shannon Sharp, we started looking at him on a different lens. After the Shannon Sharp situation, if he would have just apologized, we'd have probably been like, okay, Skip, we got you, man. Just don't do it again. He would have been clear to that. But he didn't come with an apology. He came with this is how we go hard on the show. We do this as competition. This is how we show how, as men go back and forth. Shannon is my brother. And all that, right? Now, what I consider NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, any of these American sports, would I consider them primarily black sports? Nah. The athlete primarily is probably black, especially in the NFL and the NBA. But you got your Caucasian brothers in there as well. But I will say this. When you get the love of the black people, the African Americans, whatever you want to call us, because I'm black too, obviously, right? Whatever you want to call us, when you get the love of them and you're not of them in the culture, you got to tread lightly. So hearing these words that you've heard over here in the Twitter, you know what the hell is that? Seeing these words and reading these words right here just didn't cut it. He could have said nothing and it would have been better. Skip Bayless just being himself, and that's just what it is. He's gonna say what he feels. And this is how he felt at that given time. He didn't even erase these tweets. They're still there. So I'm guessing if he erased the tweets as like an admission of guilt, which he don't want to do that. So what he's done was pretty much come behind it saying something like this. Nothing is more important than the young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I pray for him and will continue to. Now, everything else is irrelevant. He's trying to refer back to the irrelevant tweet, which is certainly irrelevant right here, right? He's trying to use the word which is suddenly irrelevant, meaning that Everything else is irrelevant after that hit, after that injury happened. The game doesn't mean nothing no more. Damn the game. It's irrelevant. All this beforehand doesn't make sense. The context is off. So pretty much he went on his show today without Shannon Sharp being present, which is telling. I'm thinking Shannon Sharp had enough of this BS. And try to regurgitate, explain himself, and, reiterate over and over again how, this is this is not a good thing. Let's pray. Let's do this. Let's do this, that, and the third. But the saying is a little too late. The fans already felt the way as soon as you tweeted that. All the premier athletes, all the ex-athletes that have skin in the game as far as like cracking the mic and doing the ESPNs and the Fox Sports and, all the bloggers and all the podcasters and all that are on this man's back. He's feeling the heat. I'm pretty sure the friends he do have in good standing with, or if you will, won't say anything. Like, they're trying not to get caught up in this mess. I don't think you're going to hear Stephen A. Smith speaks ill of Skip Bayless, even though he might say, that wasn't the appropriate comment to make at that point in time. Should Skip Bayless be fired from Fox Sports? And then Shannon Sharp just goes into the win and do Club Shay Shay. Should it? In my opinion, I think this was bad timing. Bad timing. I have no relationship. I don't know this man from a hole in the wall. But clearly, a lot of athletes don't like this man. Is he good for TV? Who knows? The ratings was the ratings up today? Would people want to see when they seen Skip? Did they say, okay, we want to see what this man says? Or when they seen Skip and didn't see Shannon Sharp, did they cut it off? Like, yeah, Shannon ain't here. We cutting it off. Because, they say that Shannon is the entertaining part of the two. Will Skip Bayless finally find out that he's not all the end all that be all? That he needs somebody across that desk to make the show what it is? Who knows? But what I do know is, with a person of that magnitude who has all those years in journalism, all those years, damn near 30 years in journalism, make a mistake such as this, which was a big mistake. Should he have known better? A person that his job is to type words, to let you know, to communicate to the masses on how he feels. So there won't be no misunderstanding in the context of the words. We'll never know because Skip Bayless is not going to go out there and say, hey, I messed up, and take accountability. I'm not going to even sit here and lie to you. I ain't get to see the show today. Y'all have to tell me if he took accountability of what's going on. If he didn't, then that's telling. Meaning he just don't give a fuck. I don't know if Skip Bayless needs to be fired, but what I do know is you got to keep a watchful eye of the content that he continues to put out. Because Undisputed became a rival of First Take and was doing what they was doing and having a great run. especially with Shannon out there pulling out the Black and Mild and the Henny and all that, having fun and shit. We loved the show. We was loving the show. Now it all comes down to this bullshit. With Skip telling Shannon, put your glasses back on, talking to him like he's demeaning him, a Hall of Famer, showing no respect for a Hall of Famer. Who loves Tom Brady. And I think these sports dudes shouldn't have a bias. They shouldn't come with a bias. Because that means that you're just, you're all for that person, that athlete. You're not that person's not gonna do no wrong in your eyes. Since when, obviously, it's preference. People have they who they likes, they dislikes of athletes and stuff like that. But don't bring it to the table for everybody to see. Because your opinion is just void. We know you love Tom Brady. Who don't know that? The Cowboys. Who don't know that? But yeah, man, it's a fine mess he got himself on in this one. And, not for nothing, respect to this young man right here. Hope he make it through. Yeah, man. Athletes are human too, man. Athletes are human too. They need to be shown respect and all that. And if your first reaction towards this looks like, because I'm not going to define whether it was out of context or not, but if it looks like, oh, let's just get the game going, I don't know what to tell you. That means you don't have respect altogether. Your first tweet shouldn't have been this. Your first tweet should have been this. Without the, again, everything is irrelevant, whatever the hell you try to say. So with that said, man, allhiphop.com, man. This might not be hip-hop, but this is just as important. You understand? With that said, I'm your host, DeVell McAfee, a.k.a. Debo. I'm out.